The Season 2 premiere introduces two new enemies, Dwight C. Thresher and Bill Dyla. On top of these two, the threat of Chicky Indrini looms large in this episode. A family member from Dwight's past surprises him in Tulsa. Meanwhile, his newfound success draws attention from the Kansas City mob. Kansas City Blues, the second episode of Paramount Plus crime drama series Tulsa King, picks up after Cal Thresher attempts to discredit Dwight. The general man Freddie, who is about to challenge him in the local marijuana market, is involved in a surprising alliance that has made possible his devious scheme to ensnare Bill Balaka. In the conflict, Dwight finds a new place for his daughter and two grandchildren to live after they decide to relocate from New York City to Tulsa. While his foes hone their weapons, Allies' devotion keeps changing as long as he doesn't know what his foes are up to. Tina, the estranged daughter of Dwight, phones her Aunt Joan to inform her about the events in Oklahoma. After relocating to Tulsa in order to start again, the sister of the former mafia boss talks about Tina moving in with just her two kids, implying that she isn't with Emery anymore. After Chicky's men beat him up for exacting his revenge on Dwight in the first season of the crime thriller, it appears that the couple splits up. The husband must have been greatly alarmed by the sad event, especially after finding out that he was now the target of the most vicious mafia family in his hometown. Emery must have found the information too upsetting, because he was not accustomed to the cruelty and slaughter that Tina had experienced both before and after Dwight's 25-year incarceration. Tina was Dwight's daughter. Their divorce must have resulted from his asking his wife to choose between her father and him. Following Emery's beating, Tina herself would have come to the realization that she cannot watch him suffer by remaining in his life, which probably leads her to believe that he would be better off without her and her father's enemies. It would also be difficult for any daughter to leave her father behind after 25 long years of separation. Emery appears to be Tina's partner no longer. As a result, acknowledging that her niece requires emotional assistance, Joan travels to Tulsa without telling Dwight about her arrival. She tells him that she will be in the city for a while, surprising him. Tina would rely a lot on her aunt in Emery's absence, especially in light of Dylan McGrath, the U.S. attorney, having promised Cal Thresher that he would do everything in his power to get Dwight back in jail. Joy's presence in the city is all the more crucial because Tina might experience the feeling of desertion once more when the legal battle plays out in the next episodes. Dwight Manfredi knows it's time to find somewhere else to stay when the media and journalists congregate outside the Mayo Hotel's entrance. His deputy, Tyson Mitchell, brings him home because none of the other upscale hotels in the city can accommodate him. Dwight loves his mother's pancakes and sleeps in Tyson's sister's bedroom. In the meantime, he comes across a story in the Tulsa Star-Journal about how the Chinese mafia is starting to make a noticeable impact on the marijuana industry in the area. It makes sense that Dwight would be curious, especially because he intends to purchase windmills from Harlan Thav. Even while in jail, Dwight visits Harlan to make a $7.5 million bid for his energy facility. The former mafia boss is not anticipated to give up on his scheme anytime soon, even if the Bank of Tulsa has refused to approve a loan for him to launch the company. Still, there might be more to the tale than meets the eye. It's possible that Dwight saw an opening to thwart Cal Thresher's attempts to undermine him. With the assistance of Jackie Ming, who appears to be his right-hand man, the businessman humiliates the former mafia capo and forces him to leave his fundraiser party. In the opening episode of the second season, Ming is a possible member of the Chinese underworld and the go-to for the syndicate and Oklahoma's biggest marijuana dealer. Thresher is one of the most powerful businesses in the state. Thus, without interacting with him, the Chinese underworld would find it difficult to expand in the area. It seems implausible that he would carefully allow the syndicate to compete with him in the marijuana industry, given his competitive spirit, suggesting the possibility of an unholy collaboration. If so, Dwight can use it to counteract his worst headache, Thresher. The former mafia capo can lead the authorities to Thresher and use the same bullet to eliminate him as a rival and threat by revealing this potential merger between Thresher and the Chinese underworld. Bill Dyla phones Chicky to confront him about intruding on his domain. After Kyle Thresher challenges his authority and tests him, The leader of the New York City Mafia views the situation as a chance to unseat Dwight Manfredi. Realizing that an enemy of his enemy is a friend, he suggests working with Balaka to retake what was rightfully theirs before the former Mafia boss came to Tulsa. Since Chicky is aware that he cannot overcome his opponent mano a mano, he turns to his allied dentist, Goody Kangi, who betrays his allegiance by joining Dwight's gang. He asks Goody if he would be willing to turn on his boss and go back to his group. Goody indicates that he is probably more than eager to betray Dwight by taking the offer seriously and telling Chicky that he is not turning it down. It is evident that he is not afraid of dying because he has switched allegiances, risking his life to follow his present employer. You might think that dealing with Dwight's novice group would be simpler than joining the same to take on Chicky and Balaka's combined army. Goody might have worried if it would be his turn next after Jerry's passing. If so, it is not Goody's fault that he changed his allegiance. On the other hand, we have not yet heard back about his betrayal. He might be feigning cooperation with Chicky and Balaka in order to learn more about Dwight's future plans. He might carry on with the ruse for a little while longer so that his boss can get ready for the soldiers coming from Kansas City and New York City. In the meantime, Jelly Roll stops by, even higher plane, to sing a song and pretend to be a janitor in honor of the store's big opening.